Hello there again, Starstream here again. I think it's New Year's Day today. Is everybody as bored as me? Must just be me. I thought I'd do a review of Bumblebee because he's a really popular character and there's so many variations, so I'll try and crack on with him anyway. Okay, look. He arrives and is in Arrival from Cybertron. That made no sense. It sort of did anyway. And he has the proud position of being one of the two first Transformers ever seen animated, ever. It's him, Wheeljack first, and you see Bumblebee. And for some reason, in this, Bumblebee transforms into a Frisbee. Not quite sure why, but he does. So, this is primarily what Bumblebee started off as. He's a very important character in Season 1, Season 2. Survives right through the movie, quite prominent. Well into Season 3, doesn't have a lot to do so much, and then all of a sudden, in Return of Optimus Prime, he gets blasted by a crazed Defensor, and he's recreated. And he's recreated into, if I can get him out here, Goldbug. Not a very nice toy, is it? I was very disappointed. Look, I can easily just show you the transformation of this toy straight away. That's it. As we know, he's a Volkswagen Beetle, and I suppose the actual car variation of this is quite nice. But comparatively speaking to the original, which had a lot more detail, and the transformation I feel was a lot more interesting than the other one, is that Bumblebee was known for trying to prove himself in the cartoons and the comics, because obviously being a lot smaller and weaker than his counterpart, he obviously wanted to impress them, not to be walked over. So he was usually, well, he's known for a bit of a wisecracker, isn't he? Tends to get him a bit of trouble with the other Autobots, but he was a brilliant spy and reconnaissance warrior. Prime, through the comics, used him a lot because he's smaller, very agile and quick and easy to hide, whereas you can appreciate some of the others aren't. Ironhide, for Pete's sake. I'll do you some of the other variations of Bumblebee, okay? What we have here is Pretender Bumblebee. Now, I'm sorry to say, the Pretender line, in my opinion, wasn't great, and especially when they tried to do the classics. And as we all know, the Pretenders have a little fella inside. You can get them out. And here inside is another variant of Bumblebee. It's Porky Bumblebee. Now look, it's a very disappointing figure as far as I can tell. If I can transform it, I'll be even happier. There we go. That's it. That bloke has had far too many pies. Mince pies maybe, it's that time of the year, but too many pies nonetheless. The transformation isn't particularly great either. He folds his head, it doesn't even have a cover, look. His head just folds down on itself. And not particularly impressive. That folds in. I suppose you can understand it because it's a Pretender. I mean, the actual inner robot is as much apart as the outer, but you thought that they could have done a bit better than that. Look, it doesn't even look right, does it? The shape's all wrong. I mean, comparatively speaking to this, that looks like a Bumblebee. Volkswagen Beetle. That really doesn't. Anyway, as we know as well, he's come to be in a classics form, who I won't transform, but is a visual representation of the classic Bumblebee. And it's a very nice toy. As you know, it's been remoulded a couple of times. What is it now? Cliff Jumper and the latest Botcom exclusive, who I can't remember the name. Somebody's gonna put that down. Bug Bite. I remembered. There we go. And as we all know, he's been a very popular, prominent character in the movie. Now, in the movie, he takes on two variant of forms. Now, this is the crappy, was it a Camaro? I think it was a Camaro thing with the rust and dents and scratches. Obviously so that Spike Wiki would purchase him, because if he looked like the Flash Camaro he turns into later on, he wouldn't have been able to afford it, and it would have been odd. So it's a nice figure, that the first one. The only thing I've got a problem with is the feet. They are a bit odd. He looks like he's a duck or something. I'm not quite sure what they would think. Well, that's the transformation anyway, isn't it? It can't be held responsible. And he comes back as the Flash-looking Camaro, which is that. Well, as you can tell the difference. The feet are still a bit wrong, but you can't have everything, can you? So you can go the way I want you to. They're a very similar size, slightly different colour yellow. The only thing that annoyed me, as I said before, is he doesn't talk. Where in the original G1 he was nothing but a little chatterbox, was he? And also, one thing to bear in mind is he did, well, he made best friends with Spike, wasn't he? Now, I think initially, as I've said before, that it was Hound, but they changed it to be Bumblebee, and they pretty much become inseparable friends. Right up till when Spike's got married and had kids, they're still as inseparable as when they started, which I think was always a nice touch. And there's been a lot of remouldings, variations. I said this toy's been remoulded. This one in general has been moulded countless times. The Diaclone ones, variations in colour. I mean, Cliff Jumper's only the same as him with a slight spoiler bit and a head remould. They've done a Decepticon version of him other than Bugbite, but they've done a one in, well, like this, except in white, which I've got, but I wasn't going to go into too much detail of that because it's nothing really to do with Bumblebee other than a moulding. The character's completely different as far as I can tell. But it's a great thing. The other thing to note is with Bumblebee is he never really had a face, he had a grill. As I said, because he was from the Diaclone line, they didn't see fit on remoulding the head. They have thus done that, but I think it was a little bit too late. I mean, Hasbro yet again never failed to surprise me how mean and tight they are. Yeah, pretty much sums up in the film when the mum goes to the dad, "You're a real cheapskate." Yeah, could have summed up Hasbro really, couldn't they? Can't even remould the face. Anyway, that's a brief description of Bumblebee. You've seen a few transformations. The other ones I'm afraid you're going to have to get and do it yourself. Sorry about that. And I think out of all of the transformations of Bumblebee, my favourite is still the original one. There's just something so, I don't know, could you go as far to say quirky? I don't know. There's just something about it. They haven't moulded it on. Unfortunately, they've lost the Volkswagen licence now. As I said, is a Camaro now, which is a damn shame. But that's it. Volkswagen have done themselves out of a lot of money as far as I'm concerned with that movie, and if it does well, which I've got a feeling it has and will do, I think they'll be kicking themselves for a long time to come. Anyway, that's Bumblebee. That Starscream vanishing off now. Hopefully spend time with his family, which he should have in the first place. Have a happy Christmas, providing you got what you wanted. I'll see you all next year, I suppose, and take care, everybody. And if I could end this, I probably would. There you go, Mouse. See you later.